Some of the deepest emotional wounds a dog experiences are the ones humans never see with their eyes, but are felt deeply by the animal's heart. These quiet feelings often go unnoticed, yet they shape a dog's happiness, trust, and behavior every single day. In this video, the focus turns toward 16 things that emotionally hurt your dog. Hidden triggers that slowly break a dog's spirit without a single sound. Understanding these signs can transform the environment dogs live in and protect them from emotional damage that silently builds over time. Before diving into these powerful insights, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more thoughtful and responsible pet care content. Number 16. Sudden changes in routine. Daily patterns provide dogs a sense of stability, predictability, and emotional security. When routines shift abruptly, dogs lose their sense of control over their world, which creates deep confusion and worry. A sudden change in feeding time makes them anxious because they depend on structured eating cycles for comfort. Unexpectedly, altering walk schedules or reducing outdoor time leaves dogs restless, frustrated, and mentally understimulated. Even shifting sleep habits can disrupt their emotional balance, causing pacing, whining, and a sudden need for extra reassurance. Consistency helps dogs feel grounded, and when that consistency disappears without warning, they feel lost, vulnerable, and emotionally shaken. Number 15. Being ignored for long periods. A dog communicates constantly through body language, facial expressions, and small attempts to connect. When these efforts go unnoticed or are repeatedly dismissed, emotional pain sets in. Dogs interpret prolonged lack of attention as rejection, creating feelings of loneliness and confusion about their place in the home. When a dog brings a toy, nudges for affection, or simply sits nearby hoping for acknowledgement, being ignored damages their emotional well-being more than most people realize. Over time, this emotional distance leads to quiet suffering, reduced enthusiasm, lower self-confidence, and even signs resembling depression. Dogs thrive on connection, and without it, their inner world becomes dim and empty. Number 14. Yelling or using an angry tone. A raised voice hits a dog far more intensely than any human expects. Dogs do not understand the meaning of angry words, but they instantly absorb the emotional energy behind them. A loud tone signals danger, punishment, and instability. Even when not directed at them, yelling inside the home creates an unsafe environment, making dogs feel tense, fearful, or defensive. They often retreat to corners, lower their heads, or hide because the emotional shock of anger overwhelms them. When yelling becomes frequent, dogs begin to believe they are the cause, leading to guilt, trembling, submissive behavior, and long-term anxiety. Number 13. Lack of praise or positive reinforcement. Dogs work hard to please the humans they love, and they rely heavily on positive feedback to understand that their actions are appreciated. When good behavior goes unnoticed, dogs become unsure of what is expected. A lack of verbal praise or affectionate encouragement creates emotional confusion and frustration because dogs seek acknowledgement just as strongly as affection. When no recognition is given for following commands, waiting patiently, behaving politely, or overcoming fears, dogs feel invisible. Without positive reinforcement, their motivation declines, their confidence shrinks, and their eagerness to learn begins to fade. Emotional warmth fuels their spirit, and without it, that spirit weakens. Number 12. Leaving them alone. Too often, solitude affects dogs deeply because their nature is built around companionship and social bonding. When left alone for long hours, dogs experience separation stress that gradually transforms into emotional pain. They may wait by the door, stare out windows, or wander aimlessly around the house searching for comfort. Prolonged loneliness pressures the mind, leading to sadness, destructive behaviors, howling, and loss of appetite. Over time, dogs may become overly attached when someone finally returns, terrified of being abandoned again. Emotional health collapses when companionship becomes rare, because dogs are pack-oriented beings who crave presence, interaction, and a sense of belonging. Number 11. Lack of physical exercise and mental stimulation. When dogs do not receive enough physical activity or mental challenges, emotional frustration builds inside them like a silent storm. Their bodies and minds are designed for movement, exploration, sniffing, and problem-solving. A lack of exercise leads to pent-up energy, which quickly turns into irritability, restlessness, and destructive habits. Without mental stimulation, such as training, puzzles, or games, dogs experience boredom that feels emotionally painful. Their world becomes dull, monotonous, and unstimulating, causing sadness and behavioral decline. Physical and mental fulfillment is the foundation of emotional balance, and missing this foundation weakens their overall spirit. Number 10. Harsh punishment or intimidating body language. Punishment that uses fear or intimidation deeply wounds a dog's emotional core. When a dog is punished harshly, they do not learn the intended lesson. Instead, they learn fear. Approaching a dog with aggressive posture, towering over them, or using intimidating body language causes instant feelings of vulnerability. Dogs become unsure whom to trust and may hide, shake, or avoid eye contact. Over time, emotional scars form, making them fearful of simple interactions, reluctant to explore, or constantly worried about doing something wrong. Fear-based correction damages the bond between human and dog, replacing trust with anxiety. Number 9. Lack of social interaction with people or other animals. Dogs are social creatures who learn, communicate, and feel secure through interaction. When they are denied chances to meet new people, other dogs, or explore new environments, they feel isolated. This isolation leads to emotional stagnation, fear of unfamiliar situations, and difficulty adapting to changes. Without social exposure, dogs also miss the opportunity to build confidence, express curiosity, and create positive associations with the world around them. Emotional resilience decreases, making ordinary events feel overwhelming, stressful, or frightening. Social enrichment keeps a dog's emotional world alive, diverse, and healthy. Number 8. Owners showing inconsistent emotions or behavior. Dogs study human behavior closely, and emotional inconsistency leaves them confused and insecure. When affection is given one moment, but coldness or frustration appears suddenly after, dogs struggle to understand what is happening. This unpredictability creates emotional instability, making dogs overly alert, cautious, or nervous around their owners. Conflicting behavior leads to mixed signals, which make it difficult for dogs to know when they are safe, appreciated, or in trouble. The emotional roller coaster becomes stressful, and dogs begin to internalize the uncertainty, affecting their confidence and overall mental health. Number 7. Constantly moving homes or environments. Frequent changes in living space create emotional turbulence for dogs because their understanding of the world is built around familiar scents, predictable surroundings, and consistent territory. When a dog is suddenly placed in a new home, a different neighborhood, or an unfamiliar environment, the sense of safety they once felt disappears. Every sound becomes suspicious, every shadow feels unfamiliar, and every new smell signals uncertainty. Over time, repeated environmental changes damage a dog's emotional stability. This can lead to heightened anxiety, difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, and clingy behavior toward family members. A stable environment provides a foundation for emotional comfort. And when this foundation shifts again and again, dogs begin to feel as if their world is constantly collapsing beneath them. Number 6. Lack of clear communication or mixed signals. Dogs rely heavily on consistent cues, body language, and predictable messages to understand what their humans expect from them. When instructions keep changing, or when the tone and gestures do not match the actions, emotional confusion builds. For example, calling a dog in an angry tone, punishing them for coming late, or mixing comforting gestures with scolding words leaves the dog unsure of what is right or wrong. This leads to hesitation in responding to commands, avoidance of interactions, and fear of making mistakes. Mixed signals break the emotional trust that dogs depend on for guidance. Without clarity, they lose confidence in their decision-making and begin behaving anxiously around even the simplest actions. Number 5. Not allowing them to express natural behaviors. A dog's emotional well-being is tied to the ability to express instincts such as sniffing, exploring, chewing, digging, or playing freely. When these natural behaviors are restricted, frustration slowly replaces joy. Preventing sniff walks, stopping a dog from exploring new scents, or constantly interrupting playtime makes them feel trapped inside their own environment. Dogs begin to feel stifled when their instincts are treated as problems instead of needs. Over time, this emotional suppression can lead to hyperactivity, destructive behavior, anxiety, and even learned helplessness. Allowing natural behaviors is essential for mental balance, and preventing them causes emotional wounds that are often invisible but deeply painful. Number 4. Comparing them to other dogs. Comparison creates emotional pressure, even though dogs do not understand words the way humans do. They do, however, understand tone, behavior, energy, and emotional patterns. When one dog receives more attention, more excitement, or more affection, while another receives less, emotional imbalance appears. Dogs pick up on favoritism instantly, which leads to insecurity and feelings of inadequacy. Some become withdrawn, while others overcompensate by trying excessively hard to gain approval. Constant comparison destroys the individual bond each dog needs. It makes them feel like they are failing despite trying their best. Dogs look for acceptance, and when the environment feels competitive or unequal, their emotional stability is shaken. Number 3. Being forced into interactions. They fear. Dogs have unique personalities, fears, and comfort levels. Forcing them to meet people, children, or other dogs when they are scared creates deep emotional harm. When a dog is pushed into a situation that feels threatening, stress hormones flood their system. Their body stiffens, their tail lowers, and their eyes widen with fear. Instead of building confidence, these forced interactions worsen anxiety and increase long-term sensitivity. Whether it is a busy park, a loud environment, or an unpredictable person approaching too quickly, pressure destroys trust. Respecting a dog's boundaries protects emotional health, while forcing unwanted interactions leaves long-lasting emotional scars. Number 2. Not providing affection or emotional connection. A dog's heart thrives on closeness, gentle touch, and meaningful bonding moments. When affection becomes rare, mechanical, or distant, the dog begins to feel lonely even in a house full of people. Physical closeness, such as gentle petting, cuddling, or simply being near their favorite person, provides emotional nourishment that keeps their mind balanced. Without it, emotional hunger grows. Dogs may become needier, whine for attention, or isolate themselves because they assume they are no longer valued. A lack of affection slowly drains their emotional energy, causing sadness and a noticeable loss of enthusiasm for daily life. Number 1. Losing the trust and bond with their human. The deepest emotional pain a dog can experience is the feeling that the bond with their human is fading. Trust is everything to a dog, and when it breaks, their emotional world collapses. This loss can happen through inconsistent behavior, harsh punishment, neglect, emotional distance, or sudden changes in treatment. Dogs become cautious, slow to approach, and hesitant to show affection. Their eyes lose brightness, their posture becomes uncertain, and their behavior changes drastically. The emotional wound caused by broken trust takes much longer to heal than any physical injury. Once shaken, dogs struggle to feel safe, and the world becomes overwhelming. Rebuilding this bond requires patience, consistency, and emotional reliability. Understanding these emotional triggers is one of the most meaningful steps toward creating a safer, happier, and more loving life for every dog. When emotional needs are respected, the bond grows stronger, the trust deepens, and the relationship becomes more beautiful than words can describe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay connected with thoughtful content that strengthens the relationship between humans and their pets.